Hey everyone, so today we're going to do a very quick workflow tutorial on I would call it the advantages of using dual ISO on a regular ISO footage. And for that we're going to need some footage. So these are the clips I filmed yesterday, and they're perfect because these are low light clips, and I filmed them both in low ISO, high ISO, and dual ISO. So as you can see here, disregard these two. These are the sync clips for the SenseFlow gyro blocks. Okay, so this is the first footage. And it is filmed in ISO 100. So ISO 100, see? And look, so when you film 5.2K anamorphic FRTP mode on Canon ESM, the only way to have continuous recording is to use 10-bit lossless. I mean, you can try 11, 12. Sometimes in low light situations 12 is okay, but look here. So data rate is 77. I guess that's the maximum we got, which is already on the edge. In the preview screen, when you click the record button, you will see something like 80 megabytes a second. I mean, on the camera. But I mean, those who work with MLV App, you guys know that 10-bit lossless, when you hit the Chroma smoothing, everything becomes green. See? And even the preview, when you film in low light situations with 10-bit, your screen is pretty much green, and that's the issue with 10-bit lossless. And since we don't want that green tint present, I will show you a trick with the dual ISO. So this is a regular ISO footage, right? And you have a lot of chroma noise here. In order to be able to use Chroma Smooth and improve shadows in 10-bit, which are compromised because especially in ISO 100, where you have a huge highlight headroom, but your shadows are very prone to artifacts, and see here. So the solution here, and it's only available on MLV App starting from the version 1.16, where you have advanced controls for the dual ISO. So now currently dual ISO is disengaged, right? So it's off. Let's try force it on, right? Basically, in most cases, you will get a black screen. But then, if you go into a horizontal pattern, just choose high, low, low, high, and hit histogram. See? Shadows. Look before. Let me just zoom it in here. Regular ISO, dual ISO forced on. That's one thing, that's stage one. Then you apply Chroma Smooth. You don't see it much, but if you zoom in and you start pixel peeping, you will see the difference. See? Here we go. Yeah, so let me disengage dual ISO. Everything is green. Everything is green. And now let's switch it on. Better than before, right? Off, on. So I guess dual ISO, I mean, even on the regular footage, takes different lines. In our case, it's high, low, low, high, and recomputes the shadows. I don't know how or why, but this works well. And apart from shadows, it actually sometimes improves the lines. Let me show you. Dual ISO off, dual ISO on. You don't see much here on the edges, but believe me, it has some effect. And that's it. So this is basically, okay, so this is ISO 100, right? So let me find something like ISO 800. Okay, so this is a very good example, right? So look at the chroma noise. It's everywhere, right? So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna force dual ISO, use high, low, low, high, and so the difference between high, high, low is the way it actually affects the chroma. So in my case, I don't know how and why I got into understanding that high, low, low, high is the best one. I mean, try it for yourself. I mean, you can choose in between 4, which is like low, low, high, high, and low, high, high, low. But in the end, in most cases, it's just the way the shadows are treated. In the end, it is always better than the regular ISO. Here, and then with the dual ISO. And plus, when you use the Chroma Smooth here in dual ISO mode on a regular ISO clip, you won't have the tint, that green tint. I don't know if it's even tint, or maybe it's the whatever. There's a scientific language for that, I guess. Not just ask ChatGPT, it will tell you what it does and why the green. I guess because, first of all, this is a compressed image, right? So the compression disregards some kind of whatever phases, channels, and blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. And also, this is a 1:3 mode image, right? Because, yeah, there is no such thing as nearest pixel, because you're essentially skipping lines. And but yeah, so this is the trick, and this will allow you to use the chroma smoothing. I mean, this works for the entire correction, or if you want to export it as a cinema DNG. For example, for me, I export it in cinema DNG because I like the looks of the cinema DNG files, and I guess there's more data. So you basically operate here, right? That's your area that affects, that's your parameter. Those are your parameters that affect the raw correction, which is in a raw correction tab. Yeah, so that pixels map, dual ISO on, high, low, low, high, histogram. I mean, in most cases it just shows 0, 0, but it doesn't really matter. For example, if you go to hardcore 400, 1600, so this is night, so there's no light, there's no I mean, I think what do they call it, the astronomical twilight, right, or something like that. So there's no sun. You basically see the fade-in reflection of the sun in the skies or the atmosphere bouncing back on you. So now we need to make sure that, I mean, so dual ISO is on, Chroma Smooth is on, and then you hit histogram, and see, you remove those lines. And that's it. And here, usually it has like minus factor and some black delta difference. So in the second part of today's workflow tutorial, I just wanted to show you how I treat that image to make sure that it becomes a ProRes master, because I mean, if you export it in Cinema DNGs, what you got is the Cinema DNGs, right? So, okay, so let me create a bin, add the files. So, of course, first two are the sync files, and then you have the footage in 1:3, right? It looks super sharp when you are still in a squeezed version. Okay, so what we need to do, first of all, we go to clip attributes and we say that this is a 3 times squeezed image. Now, focus on this external AC unit, or maybe somewhere here, right? The important step in creating a master is to make sure that you create a timeline, and a timeline should be like this. So I create masters that I subsequently upscale in Topaz, and Topaz likes a very flat, pretty smooth, not overly sharp image. For that, we need to downscale, because this is essentially 5208 by 2178, right? It's a 5.2K image, 239 by 1 aspect ratio, and so we need to make sure that this image becomes a smaller image, and for that we will need a calculator, right? So here is the calculation, not this one. So my understanding is that okay, so let me go here first. So we go into project settings and we go into image scaling, and you see here I use a resize filter custom, and the method is bezel. Because if you use Langsos, and I will show you later, it will be super sharp, super edgy, super uncomfortable for Topaz AI to upscale and not to lose mind by doing this. But what are the options we can use to make sure that when we downscale, we do not create any additional artifacts, we do not over sharpen the image, we do not add aliasing, and so on. So for that, the theory and experience tell us that we better use Mitchell, because I mean this is one of the best downscaling filters algorithms. But Mitchell has a tendency of adding some halos, and especially on the edges. So, and you should be careful when you use Mitchell. You need to make sure that you're using multipliers, even multipliers like 125, 15, 1, 2, and so on. So nothing in between. Because I guess there is some kind of mathematical stuff going on behind it. And yeah, so if you use Mitchell, you need to be precise in terms of the multipliers of rescaling. So the difference between Mitchell and Basil, not much, but I guess Basil, in this particular project, I use Basil because this is a 5.2K footage that will be downscaled to with a multiplier of 1.75. So let me show you how we do it. So we select all the clips, create new timeline, untick the use project settings, we go to format, and we do the following. So calculator, 2178, right? 2178 divided by 175 is 1244.57. So we need an even one, and we will use 1244. So 1244, right? Now for the horizontal part, 5208 divided by 1.75 becomes 2976. 2976. Okay, so in color tab, I will just make sure that right now it's Rec 79 scene because we need to see the difference, right? When you switch to DaVinci Wide Gamut Intermediate, which you need to do before you export and deliver to the master, the preview on MacBooks is somewhat crippled, so unlike Intel-based machines. So for now, I will keep Rec 709. So let me find, okay, I mean, that first one was a good example. So what do we have? We have edges here, here, right? Okay, a lot of details happening here. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna apply different filters. So let's go lengths, right? Or sync, pretty much the same. So concentrate on the image here. See? Immediately, more details, more sharp. And now let's say we want bezel, soft, right? Smooth, soft. And what else? So that's pretty much the middle of the frame, so the AC unit here. And let's say Mitchell. But I should warn you, there'll be no difference right now. Not much. I mean, I can't even see the difference. But from what I learned, bezel has it's pretty much image agnostic. There's some kind of linear function, mathematical function or filter, whatever is used to make sure everything in the frame, no matter how edgy it is or not, just recomputes everything. So, but I mean, this is too smooth, right? Too sharp. And we're dealing with 1:3 image. And when we're dealing with 1:3 image, we also need to upscale it. So right now, I'm going to select all the clips except the timeline. Sorry. So we select all the clips. And what we're gonna do, look here, right? So what we're gonna do, no, where's that one? Here. What we're gonna do, we're gonna select an upscaling factor, super scale factor. So look at the image here, the level of details and everything. And now we're gonna do a super scale, well, a moderate one. I mean, it all depends on your machine. If you've got, I don't know, a supercomputer, you can use for enhanced. I mean, my MacBook cannot do that. So, I mean, the other machine can, but not this one. But for the sake of this example, I will just use 2x. So 2x, medium, medium. That's a very good compromise. So look here. See? So the shift here, it appears to me that when you film 1:3 by skipping lines, all the export into CDNG things, when they happen, you kind of, you have this out of focus situation on every single pixel you have in a frame. Now look at this AC unit. I will put it like this, and no. Clip attributes, and let's say we want nothing, no super scale. See, everything just shifted. It's like they're at like the way I would explain it to kids is like there are two kind of images. One on top of the other. The top one is transparent and another one is not, but the one which is on top has the edges, and when you shift it a little bit, like 1 pixel left, 1 pixel right, everything becomes blurry. So upscale and superscaling it to, for example, next to medium, shifts at everything, and it becomes a slightly more in focus. You don't want it to be super sharp. Like, for example, if you do something like high sharpness, medium noise reduction, I mean, it will look okay if you want to use it as a final image, but we're prepping a master, and since we want to upscale it to 4K, and in our case it will be upscaled to almost 6K, and I will explain it later. But I mean, medium low is also good. I mean, you can use that, but it's not really different from high medium. But for me, the go-to is the medium, because the image is still soft, pretty much in focus. I mean, who can say if it's in focus or not, because this is filmed from a distance of like roughly 100 meters on a 25mm lens, working at f2.8, and Mickey has a little bit of center sharpness starting from f4. So in low light, because this is twilight time, I mean, the sun is already gone. I mean, it sits somewhere on the left side behind the mountain, and this is the bouncing light. So we use skies as a bounce for this shoot. So yeah, and What else? So the next part, so I'm gonna select all the files, make sure that I can use clip attributes, and I'll put super scale to medium. That's fine. Now let's go to timeline and see what we've got. Okay, so this is a timeline where you already have a super scaled image, right? And it looks okay. I mean, considering that most of the clips are dual ISO processed clips, including the regular ISO clips, and but for us, we need to make sure that these clips become the optimal, I cannot say perfect, but optimal master files, which will be ingested by Topaz AI, process and upscale. So now we need to do some cleanup. And for cleanup, I will use my power grade, the cleanup power grade. So what do we have here in this cleanup power grade? Not much. See, there's not a big difference in what's happening, but a little bit of noise reduction. So noise reduction here, super subtle. One frame, temporal NR, fast, medium, Luma 3.8, Chroma 7.6, fast spatial NR, whatever. Luma 0.7. I mean, you can dial it up to 1.2. I mean, if you have a lot of noise, like for example, for this specific project, which is already done, processed, upscaled, it's available on the channel. I used 1.4 and a chroma of roughly 8.4 because there are some clips that are like super noisy, super noisy. So what else? So NR, noise reduction here. Then, since when you apply noise reduction, even a subtle touch, you lose details, right here. See, you're losing details. So, in order to tackle that, balance it, I would say compensate that, you need to apply some slight sharpening. For the project, I used 0.8 here and something like 0.50. See, just a little bit. So if you combine them together, there's not much change, but you removed noise and you reconstructed pixels, because noise reduction actually helps reducing aliasing, the moire effect, and some smoothing some edges and so on, because this is noise reduction. And the final one, okay, so now it's converted from Canon Cinema Gamut Blackmagic design film to DaVinci Wide Gamut, DaVinci Wide Gamut Intermediate. If you want to see it in Rec 709, that's the look in Rec 709. I can tell you that right now this is overlap pink, so we go to clip, we increase color temperature, because I guess this was as it was, if my memory serves well. So that's the color of the twilight. Yeah, pretty much. So, and what else? And that's it. Now we need to make sure that this entire image on a waveform sits above 128 and below 896, but ideally below 768. Why? Because you need a super flat image, and that's why I added the offset node after the conversion into DaVinci Wide Gamut. This allows me to move the entire thing, right? So we're gonna move it here. So we're here, and just work on the highlights a bit here, and maybe no, that's not the way it should be. Here we go. So, and a little bit of highlights, trimming. That's it. So that's the image, and then you just copy paste it to and make sure everything stays within the frame. So I believe, yeah, this one. So what we're gonna do now is, so in order to remove this, like a thin black line on the left and right side because of the aspect ratio and the resolution, just go here, go to the timeline settings, and then scale full frame with crop. So this will remove those black lines on the left and right side. And since we're already here, let's switch to DaVinci Wide Gamut Intermediate. And I guess that's it. So this is how you prep the master for subsequent upscaling Topaz AI. And what else? I guess that's it. So in the preview, I mean, on a MacBook, it is super weird preview in wide gamut color space. But for example, if you work on an Intel machine, then it will look just like a log footage. And this is exactly what we need. We need that log footage, super flat, on the intake of Topaz AI, and that's it. So this is your master prep. What else? And after that, you just pull it into the Topaz AI and upscale it. Oh, one interesting thing. So why upscale? This image will be on the output, right? So on the output, when you deliver it as the ProRes Quad 4X Q Master, you will have like individual clips with the source name. The resolution will be 2976 by 1244, right? So it's even less than 4K UHD. But I mean, the theory tells us that we need to upscale it with a multiplier of x2. And that multiplier of x2 allows you to, I don't know, for some reason, Topaz AI Pro Tools module will create a much better image with dynamic whatever sliders, just tweak the way you like it. But I usually try to recover at least 85% of the details, not being overly hard on the sharpening. In this case, this is a low light footage, so there will be more. The slider of the noise reduction I put on plus 25, plus 30. It cleans the image, but since it's a high resolution image in the end, won't see a lot of difference, but you will still have some noise. And since in Topaz you have an option to add noise or to add a grain, I use the latter, so I add grain, just a slight touch. Make sure that all the pixels have something around them that makes details more smooth, more, more realistically organic, and that's it. So, I mean, the final footage is already on the channel, so you can just check it. And on this note, I guess that's it. And thank you for staying with me today. And bye bye, and good luck. Take care, guys. Have a good one.